Let's go across to where all the live action is. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arriving at the International Media Centre from Bharat Mandapam. The Prime Minister expected to address the nation as well after a successful run at the G20 presidency. Of course, historic day for India, historic 2 days for India indeed, given the fact that India was able to get the New Delhi Declaration adopted and really emerging as a voice of the global south in all the initiatives that it has championed, not just in the past 2 days, but indeed in the past 10 months as the president of the G20. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi there arriving at the International Media Centre.
And it's rather interesting, you know, I've covered international summits, Vedant, for a Prime Minister of a host nation to arrive at International Media Centre and wave at the media crowd which has gathered. It also shows the confidence. Here is the man who has clearly won and because of his diplomatic dexterity. Nobody gave India a chance. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi was confident that a Delhi declaration is possible, and he ensured it. For him, it was also about his personal personal charisma which was at stake. He understands fully well that in the next few months, India will be seeing the general elections, but before that, there are 5 states that are going to polls. There's lots at stake for him personally. And that is the reason why this is a victory march for the Prime Minister. He understands fully well that there is a section of the international press which may not report even this diplomatic success, a milestone for India, and look at it from a completely different prism. He is sending a message that this is his victory lap, and he has come here to celebrate with the people of media that has gathered from all over the world.
Security. No. Sir. हो गया.
So, Mara, you were making an interesting point that this, in a sense, is the Prime Minister's victory march. In a sense, India vindicated, given the fact that you said that nobody gave India a chance. But India really has emerged as, a successful president of the G20, championing causes for a better planet. Of course, various initiatives, including climate change, on the focus. But coming back to that point of India's messaging and the Prime Minister's messaging, whether it was his personal touch of meeting all the leaders, welcoming leaders personally, it also has a lot of ramifications domestically, as far as domestic politics is concerned.
Yes, and for domestic audience, this is India's place of pride. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, for his constituency, has placed India on such a pedestal that India is taken seriously, that Indians matter. Vedant, if I were to compare the G20 summit that I covered in Brisbane in 2014 to covering the G7 summit where India was an invitee nation just few months back in Hiroshima, the India story, because of brand Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has generated a lot of interest. There's a lot of curiosity about this man who is leading a democracy as vibrant as ours, and someone who has navigated the most tricky diplomatic space to come up with a document such as this, a New Delhi Declaration, with 100% consensus. Who would have thought that in the most challenging times that we are living in the times of war, on one hand you have Russia, on the other the complete Western world, both seem to be happy with the Delhi Declaration.
Absolutely, Mara. And as you said, it's a time of shifting power dynamics globally, globally tumultuous time, of course, as you mentioned. But coming back to that point of how it matters domestically, for the first time, we are seeing that G20 actually matters to an average voter. As I've been saying, it no longer is confined to, Delhi corridors or the Hyderabad house. It actually matters to an average voter. In fact, we can see the Prime Minister now actually leaving the International Media Centre.